In this meditative journey, we're going to experience 5 big bangs. There's not just one big bang, it's a great flaring forth of reality when the unmanifest explodes into the manifest. So we're going to go on a meditative journey to actually feel, right, this great flaring forth, to feel the 5 big bangs, which ultimately, the 5th big bang, is no less than you awakening to your evolutionary unique self when you realize that the next step of evolutionary creativity depends on you. Feel into it, friends. The single immense energy event that began as a tiny speck, you were there. You breathed out, and it unfolded over time to become galaxies and stars, palms and pelicans, the music of Bach, and each one of us as unique selves alive today. It took 13.7 billion years of evolution to produce the unique singularity that's the irreducible you. All of reality waited for your birth. You're not extra. There's no one like you that ever was, is, or will be. And that, my friends, is the great discovery of contemporary science. All of evolution leads to you. And we realize that the universe isn't simply a place, but it's a story. It's a story in which we're immersed, to which we belong, and out of which we emerge. Just as the Milky Way is the universe in the form of a galaxy, and an orchard is the universe in the form of a flower, you are the universe in the form of a unique self. And every time you're drawn to look through your unique set of eyes, your unique perspective that no one else can see through, your unique way of looking, engaging, living, and breathing in the world, when you reflect uniquely and give your gift into the awesome, grander beauty and complexity of the universe is awakening to itself through your unique self. Feel that. Feel that alive, awake in you, in this moment, right here, right now. Let's begin, friends. Let's go back together to the very beginning. How did it all start? There was a beginning. A great flaring forth of light and matter, luminous matter that would eventually become stars and galaxies, and the dark matter that no one's ever seen. And all of space and time and mass and energy began as a single point that was trillions of degrees hot and instantly rushed apart. And feel it. The universe isn't simply a vast space in which things existed, large things like stars and small things like atoms. But that's what we used to think. Scientists knew that matter changed, formed the universe, but they assumed that the universe as a whole wasn't changing. That was wrong. The universe itself is unfolding. The universe itself is a story, and you're a unique letter, a unique chapter in that story. In the beginning, the universe brings forth quarks and leptons, and these quanta collide, and a gluey form called plasma emerges. And then these elementary particles begin forming stable relationships. And those stable relationships, right, that initial bonding begins the entire process of evolutionary emergence and unfolding. And feel into it, my friends. 13.7 billion years ago, right, we were a singularity, right, a single point. We were smaller than the head of a pin. Nothing. No thing. And in that no thing was literally everything. Everything was there. We were there. You were there. We were all then there. Everything that was come into existence was encoded, as scientists and emergent scientists know today. Scientists of emergence know all the information was encoded in that initial moment of the Big Bang. And once the Big Bang happens, all information, all possibility, because remember, God is the possibility of possibility, so all possibility is encoded in that moment. And then the impulse to evolve, part of that encoding, right, begins from inside that point in the great universe story. The great story, the history of God, the history of reality begins to unfold. The evolutionary impulse begins to move. Cosmic firestorms, chaotic burning, wildness, slowly, forces of bonding causing the universe to come closer and closer together. Burning balls of hydrogen gas, intensity, supernovas exploding, ultimately giving birth in intense heat to higher elements, carbon and oxygen. Those elements scatter across the galaxy, and they organize again into planets, including Earth. That, my friends, is the first Big Bang. Right? That's cosmological evolution. That's the evolution of the cosmos. And understand this. Get this, because it's a bigger deal than you can possibly imagine. 100 years ago, we didn't know that the essence of reality was everything evolving in every moment. Einstein thought that everything was happening in an eternal universe. And we now know it's all evolving, the evolutionary impulse, the first Big Bang, right, in which nothing gives birth to something. And then the cosmos, right, emerges. So the Big Bang gives birth to the first great cycle, the first Big Bang of cosmological evolution. And then it bangs again, the second Big Bang. And the cosmos, right, the inert and inanimate cosmos, which is nonetheless sentient, self-organizing, ceaselessly creative. That ceaselessly creative cosmos then awakens in this huge leap of emergence, unexplainable, right, by any force, and life is born. The second Big Bang. You unleash creative dynamic life, biological evolution comes into being. In that movement in which quarks bond together, right, drawn together by the eros, the animating eros, the movement of higher and higher levels of mutuality, recognition, union, and embrace, that relationship, that attraction, that currency of connection that inheres in the cosmos, and those quarks become atoms, and those atoms become molecules, and those molecules, right, become complex molecules. And then at some moment, against any possibility of chance, those molecules awaken, guided by what some emergent scientists are calling the fifth force, guided by a kind of internal eros, right? An internal eros. This is not intelligent design. It's not a Santa Claus God from the outside saying, let there be. It's the ceaseless creativity of the divine creative principle, the evolutionary impulse moving the cosmos itself intelligent, awake. The cosmos is intelligent. The cosmos is infinite being and infinite intelligence, encoded information that guides the evolutionary impulse. And biological evolution, the second Big Bang, takes place. The first Big Bang takes billions of years. The second Big Bang, right, hundreds of millions, then millions of years. And then, after the second Big Bang, after biological evolution, after life awakens to single cell and then complex multicellular, and then the first organisms, right, and then, right, early plants, and then later plants, and then early animals, then neural nets, right, and ultimately we come to primates, and ultimately to the triune brain, right, this entire process of evolution, the great second Big Bang, then it explodes again for a third time, and the third time, and you're inside, and you're there, and this is all happening with you, in you. The third Big Bang is the beginning not of biological, but it's the third great movement of evolution. It's actually cultural evolution. And it's only some 50,000 years ago that this begins, and time begins to contract, and things begin to move in real time. And the creative evolutionary impulse moves into the next phase. It's the Big Bang of the human heart and mind. Culture is born. There's artwork on cave walls. There's this great leap forward. There's burial. There's celebration of cycles of moon and sun. Musical instruments honor the cycles of life and death. And cultural evolution, this new great emergent. And each emergent is undetermined by that which comes before it. Each one is drawn forward by the very eros of the cosmos. And it goes through cycles. We go from early cycles of hunter-gatherer, to then a horticultural kind of early farming instruments, then to kind of more sophisticated farming instruments, right? And then to, kind of more dramatic and more advanced techno-economic basis until we finally come to the Industrial Revolution. And then we finally come to the Information Revolution, right, some 40, 50 years ago. These are all stages of evolution, right? Evolution moves always through stages, right? You're organizing power from hunter-gatherer to horticultural to agrarian to industrial to information. We move from cave paintings, right? Then we move from cave paintings to crop circles. And from crop circles we move to pyramids. And then we move from pyramids, right, to Lao Tzu. And from Lao Tzu we move to Shakespeare. Right? The family unit moves from a kind of 2, 3, 4-person unit to a clan, to a bigger tribe, and to a city, to a state, to a nation, to a global village. We move from pre-verbal, right, to early symbols, to early concepts, to verbal, right, to writing, right? We move from papyrus, right, to printing press, to phone, to fax, to internet, right, to instant internet, right? We begin kind of, right, kind of just barely walking, and then we're fully erect. And then finally kind of, right, there's kind of a sled that carries us, and there's a chariot, And then we're riding horses, right? And then there's a plane, then there's a space shuttle, right? There's cosmological, biological, cultural evolution, and it's happening. And then, my friends, the fourth Big Bang happens. For the first time, a couple of 100 years ago, it's just happened. The fourth Big Bang, for the first time, evolution awakens to itself. We become aware of evolution. Evolution begins to realize all the previous cycles. We're able to look back at the story. We're able to tell the story of the story. Right? We begin to realize that there's a purpose, there's a direction, there's a story. We're going someplace. That evolution is moving to higher and higher levels of love. Right? To higher and higher levels of recognition, mutuality, union, and embrace. The human being erupts in this great cultural evolution. And we begin with egocentric love. I love only those people who are connected to me and to my family. And then I awaken from egocentric love to ethnocentric love. My felt sense of caring and concern and love extends beyond me, right, to my people. And I'm willing to sacrifice and die for my people and live for my people and extend my love to my full people. And then it bursts forth again, this force of evolutionary love, and I begin to actually, right, love not only my people, right, not only my ethnocentric tribe, but I move from ethnocentric to world-centric, right, that I actually begin to experience myself as a global citizen, right, that everyone's part of this whole story, that I'm actually related, right, to everybody in the globe, and although I may locate myself in a particular place, and I include my ethnocentricity, I transcend and include, my egocentric doesn't disappear. I still care for myself and my family in a particular way. I transcend and include, and I become ethnocentric in my love. That doesn't disappear. I then become world-centric in my love. My felt sense of caring and concern extends to the entire world. Then I awaken yet again, and I become cosmocentric. I awaken as true self, as a unique expression of true self, as unique self. I awaken as evolutionary unique self, which is the fifth Big Bang. I awaken as evolutionary unique self. Evolution awakens not just generally, not just human beings seeing the evolutionary process. We actually begin to realize that we are the center of the process at this moment, that our creativity and our consciousness and our expanding circles of love and our depth and our creativity and our eros and our evolving conscious uniqueness are actually the eyes of the universe, are the feet of the universe, are the hands of the universe, that actually evolution awakens uniquely through us as the evolutionary impulse awakens as your evolutionary unique self. So in this moment, if for the first time you're actually experiencing yourself, or you're re-experiencing yourself as I am right now, myself not just as a limited separate self, Marc Gafni, it's my life. What a pathetic and sad and tragic way to live. To say it's just my limited life by myself and my skin-encapsulated ego. What a lonely, alienated way to live. When I actually realize in this moment that the evolutionary impulse is awakening through me, and God's having a Marc experience, and God's having a Terry experience, and God's having a Tanya experience, right? That actually the entire process of evolution is in this moment awakening to itself. Oh my God takes on a new application, a new meaning. Oh my God meaning you. You, oh my God, awakening in you, as you, and through you. And when you feel that awakening of the fifth Big Bang, right, awakening through your awakening, you realize that, wow, I'm part of the whole thing, and the whole thing's part of me. And the next minute depends on me. And the next unfolding of goodness, of the good, the true, and the beautiful depends on my ability to wake up and give the unique gift that emerges from my unique perspective. That is an expression of my unique evolutionary creativity that no one in the world has but me. If you want to find and access, right, your deepest sense, right, of meaning, if you want to access joy, if you want to access a sense of being ultimately needed by all that is, right, awaken to your evolutionary unique self. And that's what this meditation was about. The ability to awaken and experience reality as your evolutionary unique self. Right, as God living in you, as you, and through you, as a unique expression of the love intelligence and love beauty that initiated reality itself. And when you awaken in that way, you experience outrageous love.